Death Metal Podcast. All right, we're live. Death Metal Podcast. What's going on, guys? Appreciate the Death Metal Podcast support. we do this live, unscripted, just playing death metal and maybe some thrash and other gory, disgusting music. Like to go back in the old days, maybe, and then me. Crazy stories behind some of these bands too, You can go beat, Oh, rest in peace, Euronymous. Fuck. Long time metalhead. Was a cool dude. Like, you write a letter and then like it would send stuff like DSP. Was Death Like Silence Productions. So there was a small little window there, like where I was in contact with them years ago. But when you're younger, like you could only hit and write to so many bands, and I was more obsessed probably with the death metal bands than I was. And it was weird too because back then, like Euronymous would like make fun of death metal bands, kind of, but he would still sell them at his store, just like they depicted in that movie. So, all right. So this past, like a few days ago, or whenever, yesterday, we released a new Necroharmonic release, which was like kind of like an unreleased thing. It was like it was like a demo, studio demo recording done at like a rehearsal place with like on a studio board thing. And then this recording, like when Necroharmonic first started, my record label, like I had put out a 7-inch and I had gotten a tape, and this was the music of the tape that made me decide to be a record label, literally. And like my friend was like, "Hey, you should put this out," And I had up to that point, I was like dubbing tapes and like I wanted to be like a distro, you know what I mean? I wanted to get involved, and I was involved. I mean, I was pretty involved at that point, but the thing is, like, I had never put out an actual piece, like a record, And at the time, which was 1992, there was like not really like too many people in the scene, It was this way smaller scene, and so check out this music. This is a band. They're called Ceremonium. They were from my local area, basically. And then I met them at shows, hung out with them. We're always cool dudes. They handed me this tape one time. And after that, I was done. Ceremonium. So that was from like I said, an old rehearsal. It was from '92, and then that rehearsal with two other songs. Like at the time, like there was not really many bands playing slow, so there was not like a mid-tempo slow scene at all. Like there was like there was not really many bands playing slow, so there was not like a mid-tempo slow scene at all. Like there was like there was sorry not really guys technical difficulties. Slow. So there was not like a mid-tempo slow scene at all. All right, sorry. What do you call it? So yeah, the death metal scene at that time was kind of moving towards like a I don't know, chuggity chug chug, you know, kind of thing. And then you had, you know, like you had like grinding gore bands too. But then there was not really too many bands that were doing like the slow pace, like mid tempos, you know. So it was pretty unique at the time. You know, there definitely some influences. A huge influence of Ceremonium would be like Abhorrence from Finland. So they have a very deep, you know, that's their riffing. It was like definitely. The members were from the band Putrefact that had some 7-inch on Afterworld Records, and then they also had members of Putrefact was Craig Pillard from Incantation. So he was the singer and guitar player in Putrefact, along with this drummer named Omar, and then this guy Victor. And Victor, once Putrefact dissolved, Victor and Oscar lived together, and they made the genesis of like Ceremonium, where they met some other dudes, you know, like that lived in Staten Island, which is a little far away from New Jersey, and then ended up jamming. But on the earliest stuff, John Brody from Deteriorate, who plays on like the Deteriorate demo, he's on the drums on the earliest stuff, or that just this recording, I think. So yeah, Funeral Doom, super unique, and caveman riffs. Yeah, I mean they were completely like moody, you know, like it was like a real mood. Like, you know, maybe we had just started listening to like Disembowelment a little, you know, and stuff like, or Winter, or My Dying Bride, the first album, or this, you know, Paradise Lost demo, Frozen Illusion. You know, like we would talk about like, you know, and there was like the band members would like, everybody was in a music fan, you know what I mean? So like they like, I remember some members like Cemetery from Sweden, and then there was other ones that were like, you know, the other, as time went on, maybe some other ways, and the band members even like got more into like black metal stuff like Dark Throne, and then other members more stayed towards like the doom with the crematories, you know, like the slow parts of the crematory stuff, you know what I mean, Abhorrence. So, you know, it was definitely brutal. Finnish death metal had a similar style at the time. Yeah, it definitely, and they took a influence from that, and you know, along with the old Autopsy influences too. You know, a little of everything right there. Cool band, brutal. They probably, you know, like we would listen to stuff like this kind of. All right, Caustic Vomit from Russia. So that show is from Russia, and they're out in the. I love it how they're out in the fucking wilderness and shit. And the show is like, the sound a little dubbed, but it sounded like they take like multiple source. Like if you read the commentary on the way the videos are made, like that particular video, and some other ones I've seen of Pyre and some other Russian death metal bands like Gashudar, maybe. They take like multiple people's footage of their cell phones, and then they edit together to make like videos, but I think they use the bass track as the bass track, not bass music, like the bass track of the actual like band song. But the vocals, if you notice, they weren't the same vocal. I know that recording well, and they weren't the same vocals, so I thought that was cool. So it's like its own mix, It's pretty sick. I guess maybe they were the vocals from the show. I don't know shit about it. I gotta ask, actually. So anyone want to be involved with Death Metal Podcast? Because I came on to talk about death metal on here. This is my nowadays. Yeah, man, it's a hard, and the dudes from Caustic Vomit are super cool. They're big Ceremonium fans. So it's people like that too that motivate me maybe to, like somebody says to me like, hey man, Ceremonium, they made your 7-inch, all this stuff. And like, I'm like, damn man, I only spent like 1,000 of those worldwide, but it made an impact around, which is cool. So let me put on another set of music so you posers don't get bored.
落ちていく落ちていく
You know, do you need a sense of humour to be in Bestial Warlust?
Of course.
Yeah,
Necessity. Necessity. If you don't have a sense of humour, you can't trust no one, I reckon. Suicide's bullshit. We endorse killing other people, not yourself.
Kill other people, not yourself. Yeah, only someone had told Kurt Cobain that. Now,
fucking 9, 10.
what's your name?
Andrew.
No.
El Butcher Base Inferno!
Bloody hell. Who are you?
Damon, Bloodstorm. Who visited over there and experienced it. There's a lot over there.
That's where the main market is in Europe, like Damo was saying, Germany, and for makeup and, you know, or rather like to say corpse paint and stuff like that.
All right, so who wants to be on here to be like those guys? Bestial Warlust. You could be on Death Metal Podcast. Special edition. So next up we got let's see here. I got this treat. All right, that was Anarchist. A lot of people were saying Mexican. I don't know. I don't know if it's mislabeled, but they said that was the Brazilian one. So I don't know. I don't know that much about Anarchist. So I was trying to do like a little quick research on that, and I was like, I didn't really see the demo. Here in Houston, keeping it real underground. That's what's up. So up next, we have a couple guests coming on, and then we're going to play some more brutal stuff. Cattle Press. All right, Death Metal Podcast with Cattle Press. So an old band I'm friends with, actually. Cool dudes, my man Ed. What's up, Jesus Drinks, Jeff Fuel?
What's good?
What's good, brother? I was
That
glad
was
you were on live with us last week on my marathon,
Yep.
the Death Metal Marathon.
See if you're probably not up for another one.
No. Turn your phone the other way, if you can.
Oh yeah, that cattle press. I'd never heard of that. That's real up my alley. I like that a lot.
Hey, Jesus Drinks, Step Fuel. Take your phone and turn it the other way.
Like this?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, better. Cool. So on Death Metal Podcast, we're trying to make the show more of like a fan and, band communication device than just like playing music on here. Because I noticed I've done mixed episodes over the years, which I say over the years now, which is maybe 2 years or a year and a half. And then we've just gone live on here and freestyled the whole thing, basically. So, So with Death Metal Podcast, there's in the beginning we were doing a lot of talk interview, interviews mixed with just talking about metal. That's it. And it felt like very generic, not generic, very natural, and not generic, and very say last week when you were on, you were kind of given a scene report of that festival.
Yeah. It's more when organic, I guess. Just like conversation about the scene and everything going on and stuff like that. I mean, if you're not talking about and exposing other people to it, it's like, how do you find out about other bands or what shit is sick and what stuff's not? I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And then I come on here and just if someone's talking about a band, hypothetically, I never heard of, you know what I mean? It's we try to even play it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm just you know what, man? If somebody from a different state is hey, you should play, check this band out or whatever.
Yeah.
And then if I try to, and then obviously, there's going to be bedroom bands out there too. So I'm not going to play every single thing on here.
Yeah.
But I don't, I'm not very selective. I want to just support a metalheads, you know what I mean? Because I feel to them also, it's maybe them seeing it on here will be some kind of motivation for them to want to do it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give them, wanting to be able to do it and stuff. Well, especially, you want to be able to play, especially if people are giving you, bands to play and whatever, you got to kind of like it too. You know what I mean? It's got to be up your alley in a way as well.
Yeah. I mean, obviously. And you guys could already tell probably by watching the show that, I like a lot of pretty hard edge stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
I was listening to, at work, there's this kid that I work with, and I sleep, huge sleep fan and stuff. If I can ever, is there a way to flip this camera around? I literally have so many, all the necroharmonic stuff. I got all the flags and shit, sleep ones, and all the other ones you send me. I got those in the
people in the backgrounds. I see the flags rolling around.
Oh yeah,
so that's cool. I mean,
those are nice. Was listening to Toad Liquor because you played that on here way back when, and I'm like, oh wow. I was showing him that. I'm like, this is the sound of agony. It's this album is so damn good. I've listened to this thing so many times. It's
I got something bugged out to play that I was listening to, so I could preface this story. So Cattle Press that we just played, right?
Yeah.
My man Ed, he played in this other band. They were called 13. It was an all-female. Well, it was never.
You played them before, band. And I have. Yeah, I've saved some of their stuff. I looked them up after.
Yeah. So I would go to these 13 shows, and I wouldn't go to those before Ed joined too. I remember I had heard the first Corrupted at a 13 show. It just played over the speaker.
Okay.
And then they had a side. I was at a show at a small club called Coney Island High. And then I noticed that Mike from I Hate God was at the show or whatever.
Really?
Right up front. And I had seen I Hate God at that stage. And I was like, oh, this is pretty sick because I know those guys are from like Louisiana or something.
Yep.
And I was like, this is cool that they're here, you know? And it was a pretty small show. But I noticed that this demo had come out where it had members of I Hate God and 13, and here it is. All right. So that was pretty gully, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And they recorded over the relativity tape, as people said.
That was sick.
Yeah, that's how we did it in New York, you know, because they would pass those things out at when you walked out of a show or something, and then, you know, basically like that's how we got our stuff around. Sometimes
That's awesome, man.
We worked off the relativity scene. Promotional use only. You know, like I mean, it was like, you know what I mean, for underground bands, like, you know, blank tapes were like a commodity, you know, so just to take their freebie. And also some of the people, you know, they might have worked for the record label, etc., you know.
Yeah, trying to press the stuff or get it out.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, like, you know, maybe someone from 13 might have worked there, I don't know, you know, like, so who knows, you know, like they have the thing laying around, they make a recording of it. It was rare. So like there was, I mean, it took me like over 30 years to hear it. So
Really?
actually, maybe like 25 years, but I knew about it. And the thing is, sometimes you would like see something written up on the fly in like a Metal Maniacs hypothetically, or like a zine hypothetically, like an interview. And then like you'd be like, they'd say like, oh yeah, we got this recording with like Mike from I Hate God, we did like a demo,
Yeah.
And it's just one line somewhere, and then like next thing you know, like people freaking have long ass memories, dude, so they're like, hey, what happened to that demo with the you know what I mean?
Yeah, when are you guys coming out with that? Who's repressing that
Or
shit?
like who has that? Like I want like to hear, like that. And you could hear a good mix there. I mean, it has, not a good mix, but I mean, it sounds like
I thought it was good.
Yeah, sounds like an I Hate God.
Exactly. It's like it has
release.
that sound for it, so
Exactly. Which I kind of, like for me, so even though I was like a death metaler, at some point, like death metal, I don't know, dried up for me. Let's call it like when Morbid Angel put out Blessed Are the Sick. So basically, like, everything seemed like a little homogenized to me, and Napalm Death and this and that. So I kind of like stepped back from the scene while a lot of people were like getting into it. So I would go and kind of seek out like these more doom bands, like the 13s, and go to some of their shows.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would go alone, actually, because like basically there was no one, there would be like Oscar from Ceremonium, who we played earlier, people like that maybe.
Yeah.
There wasn't really that many people like that were into like the grindcore or crust or doom scene. Just like a few,
Yeah.
Not like now. And then even doom, think about it, like now, like years ago, like there was no one there.
I feel like, well, me coming from a younger perspective and stuff, it's even more different because if you didn't grow up in it necessarily, then it's like you don't, like you can pick and choose a lot more easily that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
you can also form perceptions about things that be like, oh, this band is this or that, but it was like they were an underground death, or doom band, hypothetically, playing to 30 people in New York, like say Electric Wizard.
Yeah,
I remember going to a show with them, and there was like maybe like 75, 100 people. That's it.
I've seen so many of the, I don't know where, it must have been like something in Ohio when they were doing, it was like the first 3 albums or something. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And yeah, it's like a tiny little bar, like 15 people there or something. It's like, that's the time where you want to see them. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Joba still don't like Doom, except Doom the band. Doom is for stoners.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Is that you played a sleep recording on here? I've played that probably back a million times. It's a live one.
Oh yeah.
And
84 at the Limelight.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, and that was a game changer in friggin' our death metal scene over here.
Really?
In a weird way, because like it was during like a commercial kind of show. I remember it was the Iraqi show, and I was at this place called the Limelight, which was like a known danceteria, like a dance club where people would go and do ecstasy and drugs all night.
Hell yeah.
Dance, it was kind of like the Studio 54 of New York. So before they would have like dance night, they would have like shows, and then they would book like, I saw Henry Rollins there, and I saw some death metal shows there, and there was one particular show, and it was Sleep, and at the time they didn't even have a record out, really. Like they had records out, but they didn't have a record out with Earache that was like you could get in the store.
Yeah.
So seeing them live before they even had like a record out with myself, I remember being there with the guitar player from Evokin. I remember being there with the guitar player from Disma. I remember being there with a bunch of like doom heads, and we were completely like, what the fuck is this, dude? This band is heavy, man.
Yeah, dude. That shit. That would have been sick seeing them before they even. That's what I mean. Like a lot of the bands.
Right on the cusp. And then right after that, the Holy Mountain came out,
Yeah.
So it was like kind of like, we were like kind of like we just went to the show like and didn't really, we didn't know who Sleep were basically. I didn't. And then after they played, dude, they played like one song. We were like, oh my God, man, like what is this?
That on that recording, the one I think from the New York one back in the 90s or that one, it's like it sounds like they're slightly like undertuned from C standard, what they're usually playing in. And I'm just like, oh, wow, that just makes it even a little bit heavier. And when I was at Domination Fest, this kid had a Maryland Death Fest shirt on, and I'm reading the back of it, and I didn't know that Sleep played there back a few years ago. I don't remember the year or whatever, but I saw them at the top. I'm like, dude, that would have been fucking nuts.
Sleep at Maryland?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I went to that. It was nuts. Yeah. I went to it was probably the first year I went there as a fan instead of a vendor. So for the first like 10 or 11 Maryland Death Fests, I went there as like a vendor. And then on like 11 or 12 or whatever the fuck it was, I went to see the Sleep one as a fan. And while they were playing outside, and there was like thunder and lightning in the background, but it wasn't raining. So it made it really atmospheric and cool. Yeah, dude. It made a little special vibe to it.
Yeah.
I think I was on mushrooms, so it kind of ruined it for me. But I just want to throw that out there,
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them twice. I saw them once. They played in my hometown here on 420, and they played Dope Smoker in its entirety. Wow. And then they played Dragonaut, and then like I think one other one after that. But it's more
like 3 songs and be like, all right, that's it, we're done.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I didn't think that they were gonna play that, but I guess because of the occasion and everything. And
all right, then, Evan, we got Evan Williams in the house. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Evan?
How you doing, brother?
What's up, guys?
Appreciate you hopping into Death Metal Podcast.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right on.
So you definitely, I always keep up with what you are doing as far as like going to shows, because like you seem pretty like show going in like Louisiana.
Yeah, man. Well, South Mississippi and everything, but we're only like 2 hours from New Orleans, so that's where we go most of the time.
Okay, so you're driving 2 hours to go to those shows?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh wow, I never knew that. I figured you were like 20 minutes away or something, but you
oh no, dude, it's a good hour and a half, 2 hours with traffic. So
okay, yeah. And then it always seems like the scene's popping there because it's like the corridor state between like Texas and Florida. You know what I mean?
So yeah, man. It's been especially the past couple of years since the pandemic and everything, lightened up, and it's been great, dude. I mean, whenever people talk about that, this is the best time for death metal since the heyday. I mean, I can't help but agree. Especially for down here, because for the longest time, Louisiana always gets associated with the whole sludge and doom thing, but there's a lot more than that, and especially here recently, it's been great. I mean, especially
I'm sure as a fan, like, cause you're a fan, you're a fan.
So, I mean,
hey, yeah, Evan. Man. Yeah. Nice.
What's up, Bill?
Based. Yeah, I was on the shrooms at the I was on shrooms and banana weed bread or something. We had like massive amounts at the Sleep show. I mean, where else would you have it though, right?
Yeah, no other place to do it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I remember it was on like the last day, so like I was like, yo, man, I was like, did they have any wheelchair rentals? Because Maryland Death Fest is long, man.
You know what I mean? Dude.
Carted around, just fucking.
I was like, damn, I need a wheelchair, buddy. Roll around and maybe get special treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't be so bad this coming year. With everything being a little bit more compact.
They condensed the fest to a smaller area this year.
So everything's going to be down there towards Soundstage and Ram's Head. So,
right.
you know,
you were there last year? You were there the year I was there, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't been there for a while. And then I was like, Mortician asked me to sell their shirts or whatever for them to help them while they were playing. So I was like,
yeah, personally, when you were doing the haul-in for them that on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. I picked up Raj, and then they did a rehearsal the night before at a small studio. So I got to witness like a Mortician rehearsal, you know, which I filmed part of it, but I never showed it because Sam or somebody said that he goes, yo man, I don't want to know, like, dude, we're just practicing, dude, please don't show this. I told him, no, I'm glad you said that though, because I was like, I want to I want you to have a video of yourself just farting around, you know what I mean? So I'm glad he said it though, because like I looked through my videos and I saw it. I was like, I ain't playing that, because I remember Sam mentioned like, don't play that, you know. But yeah, I was just talking to Sam from Morpheus Ascends, so like I could give a little update if anyone's a Morpheus Ascends fan. They had I know the guys from Morpheus Ascends, like Sam, he's a Mortician, so they're playing in some with Profanatica at some hell I don't know, some festival.
Yeah, them with Deceased or something.
Or somewhere. And then and shout out to Flesher and DJ Hellhammer. And then what was I getting at? Morpheus Descends. They're recording, like finishing up some recordings. And then they had asked me to come there and film their practice and do like an interview for Death Metal Podcast. But that's going to be a little ways out. So they wanted to work on some recording stuff, like finish up some, I don't know, mixing and, to get stuff ready for some releases.
Fuck yeah.
I think they had 6 songs, and then, but they have a whole album behind that too. So the 6 songs were just for like maybe splits. I'm not really sure. I didn't get the full lowdown on that, but they were definitely for us like releases and this and that. And so we'll probably get the lowdown in a few. But I told Sam, I was like, you know what, man, I want to come down there for the mixing, dude. Like, I need to get the fuck out of the house.
I can't wait to hear that shit, dude.
Yeah. I'm like, I need to get out of the house, man. I don't want to. I'll come down and while you're mixing it, dude, and we'll film some stuff then. Even.
Yeah, let me make a trip out of it or something.
I mean, why not, right? I mean, he's probably one of the closest death metalers to me, so that, you know what I mean. And he has a decent studio. I've been there before. Ritual Infinity is such an album. Love it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. The Ritual Infinity was sick as shit. It's cool that I can roll over there and just like, you know what I mean? Like film some stuff. And then, we'll film it offline, but I'll try to take it online too. But I noticed like online, if you try to go live with your phone, like sometimes the phone is just like, no,
Yeah,
So,
I don't know if you caught jamming out All Badass and El Necron with, what was it, Hexella, however you pronounce it. Yeah, however JD got that rigged up to do a live stream for that rehearsal. That was pretty good. I don't know if you caught any of that.
I did. And Francisco mentioned that after JD rocked his drums on there.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this over the X amount of days because last week, JD did like the Dimmock beat of whatever on the drums.
Yeah, no, and going up and down on the drums there.
So that kind of laid the seeds to be do the rehearsal and try it out. JD's a kind of a sound engineer too. So
I was like, he ain't doing that from his phone. He obviously has like, mic set up somewhere that has,
he's got an entire
on it or
studio,
something.
Yeah, he is a maniac, dude.
Everything that Hexella's done, he's done in he and Noel's home studio, I believe.
Yeah, they record themselves.
That split, man. That fucking split is just nuts, dude. The solo work on it, like, I mean, I've listened to Weapon like on repeat.
It's funny because right before I got on, I was like, "Hey JD," I was like, "Get ready." I don't know. I didn't get a message back. He said it was a test run. Okay, I wanted to check. You never know.
You need some more samples for your one-man project that you're coming out with, right, Roy?
Yeah. Which one? That girl's name?
The one where you just take JD's drum fills whenever he plays on here and smash them together on a tape.
Yeah. It does. You know what? StreamYard. The one good thing about it is, they have a tiered plans, and then they have it where everyone's audio can be recorded separated. So say like you did like a podcast, because this was originally supposed to be a podcast. That's why it's called Death Metal Podcast.
Yeah.
But basically, like and originally supposed to be edited, I guess, show no mercy. And then anyway, so this was supposed to be edited, but I was like, you know what? Going live is the way. Evoking. Flag.
Oh, yeah.
Courtesy of Necroharmonic.
Appreciate it, brother. Chronicles of the Shadowed Ones is also sick. Morpheus Descends never disappoints me. Hell yeah, bro. I'm glad to see someone on Twitch rolling in too, because we need Twitch.
Yeah, make sure to get all your Necroharmonic merch. Make sure your Death Wish shirt.
That was on Twitch and said, "Do you want me to come on now?" Is that you, Dave? GJ Hellhammer? Because he's like, "You want me to come on now?" I'm like, and it wasn't Faucet Free because she has Twitch too. So I would have been like, "Come on." Only Death Doom is real. That's why, we should. I tried to play a few things tonight that I considered to be like not death metal, but at the same time, like for a death metal fan. You know what I mean? I usually do that, right? I've noticed over the years or my show. Like I don't want to just. I think a lot of death metal fans, and it's death metal podcast, but like are into other genres like grindcore and gore, brutal death metal, black metal,
Of course. You ever listen to I know I've asked it a bunch of times in the chat, get into dystopia much?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean a little bit, like I'm not like I don't think I own any. I own like a split 7-inch or something, or some of the earliest stuff.
Yeah.
I remember writing letters with them. Didn't they have a singer named Dino or something?
Yeah, he's the drummer.
Right. And I met him actually at Maryland.
Yeah, drummer and the singer, which is even more crusty. It's just like
right. Yeah, I hung out with him actually. Me and him hung out a little bit at Maryland. So I did the one I went to with Sleep. It was probably at that one actually. So that was a long ass time ago. So because
he's in a different band now, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah,
Newt Rush.
Yeah,
I
shout
think.
out to him too. So like, you know what? Like, evil minds alike meet. You know what I mean? Just like me and Evan Williams met up at a show. Like we somehow form like Voltron, like other like maniacs. So, like, even though he's a singer for Dystopia, and like Dystopia is kind of like, I hear their name thrown around a lot. So like obviously they definitely get some juice in Cali.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just hanging like a normal G like me, and like we don't there's no rock stars or you know what I mean? Like I'm not in a band either. But like there's a lot of people that like talk to me like I'm a fucking whatever, They're like death metal podcast, Necroharmonic,
Well, you get your name out there and stuff. So I mean, a lot of people watch and get good support for it. So
yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, I want to hang with everybody too. So like
for real, man, that's the best part. Honestly, I mean, I love getting to see all the bands and everything, but the whole community aspect's like awesome too.
Form together like Voltron. That's right, the death metal. That's what I'm saying. Oh, he was in Asunder too? I didn't know that. I like that Asunder record.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Toward the Megalith by Disma is some excellent doom. Hells yes. That's correct, brother.
It's the best album of the 2010s.
there's something coming out from us too, and it's just like a little piece of the puzzle came in. I just don't talk about everything we're doing on here, like I just keep a little something under my hat under everything for Necroharmonic. We did put out the Ceremonium now, so I was definitely happy to put out a recording that was like so old for us,
Yeah, that looks sick too.
Yeah, the recording itself has kind of not been out, so here it is. If anyone was interested too, it's a Fading Cry for Repentance. So this was like a pre-demo to like their 7-inch, and then they had John Brody from Deteriorate on drums. So if anybody's interested in collecting tapes or into old death metal from 1990, check it out. Flex Necroharmonic is where you cop it. I usually don't go on here to sell our shit because I'm just not 1,000.
Sell your shit. Buy a Deathwish shirt while you're there.
Yeah, cop something, buy a shirt. So we're gonna play a song now while I take a piss. This is a rare unreleased Disma jam. Whoops.
Fuck yeah.
Rare shit. Well, that's a older song, but rehearsal footage, hell yeah. Took a lot of influence from Disma. Talk about icons on vocals. Perfectly enunciated and just stood out. Yeah, that was the thing about the Craig the Craig Pillard like vocal thing, right?
You can
That was just
understand
like
everything he's saying.
Yeah, like monster death metal. You know what's weird too? Like going back to like the first incantation shows I went to. I remember like he would like say the song titles in between the songs, and he'd just be like, and then he would and the crowd would like kind of almost laugh. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like he would play this after the bands were done. They were like, "Holy shit, dude!" That man.
But it's the craziest thing. Like, because his voices are so guttural and they're so just like, but you can understand everything he's saying.
As time went on, he would do that at the beginning. And then I noticed, as time went on too with Craig, like the vocals became like more and more and more clear. But still so low.
And who does that? I mean, who else can you really say that about? There's not many, like, I mean, and nobody sounds like Craig. No one.
Yeah, nobody. And then like say like with Disciples of Mockery, like you can hear the fucking lyrics literally. You know what I mean?
Saying the methadone stuff, even that,
Or so it's like a stark contrast to where you're at where were you at? Chicago World Domination Fest.
World Domination. Yeah, Domination.
So there, like the bands are the brutal death metal. So the vocal pattern, would you say, or is it a little,
Yeah, they have it's a lot of more like pig squeal and stuff, and more kind of I'm not huge on like the high pitch shit mixed with my death metal. If it's like black metal and whatnot, fine, but a whole lot I like, the real low guttural shit and whatever else. But it was more like pig squealing, low guttural stuff, and yeah.
But you know what? Like
even slam shit.
Yeah, a lot of slam stuff.
A slam guttural band, but their vocals could still stand out and be better.
Yeah, no, honestly, a lot of them.
Stabbing.
What was that?
Stabbing.
Yeah, stabbing. Yeah. They got some slammy parts in them. I told Bridget, I'm like, I think that like their kind of sound, well, at least on like the first album they had, reminds me of Decrepit Birth's first album. I don't know if you guys mess with Decrepit Birth at all.
Not really. I found Stabbing way more.
Okay.
But you know what? Bridget's been around the scene for like 10, not 10 years, probably like 8 to 10 years minimum, So like,
she was like, "That's what we want to hear," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that's what it sounds like to me."
Yeah. So her vocal,
just Texas brutal.
Yeah, her vocal is brutal, man. It's like, it's the first. It's like I wanted to call it the first brutal girl death metal vocal, but like it's one of the most brutal of the girl death metal vocals. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, I gotcha.
Yeah, because like there's been girl death metal vocal, you know what I mean, on brutal death metal, let's call it, but like there's only been so many times where it was like really like holy shit, that's super fucking heavy.
Yeah, like you can't even.
She literally hit the like suffocation demo zone, heavy of like vocal, like
it's like makes the dudes look like a bunch of wimps.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I haven't listened to.
She's been making dudes look like wimps for years, anyway.
I haven't listened to the album really, but the demo and the EP I liked. I've got both of those.
Yeah, everything I've listened to was pretty much live, or they have like a rehearsal video. I was just watching yesterday on their like IG or whatever, and it was like, this is our rehearsal before we're leaving for the tour or whatever. And I was like, damn, man, they're fucking hard, even in their goddamn rehearsal. Like, and the sound was like super good, Yeah. I was like, fuck, this is brutal as shit.
Yeah, my only complaint about the fest is like the drums could have been a little bit louder, I guess. And Will from Mortician could have stopped standing in front of his bass amp through the whole set, and it was giving off just feedback. I was like, oh, like my ears, man. And I was like, what is going on?
Right.
Oh Jesus!
What about the music in between the bands? Was it like Rat or was it like Brutal?
They were playing like Lamb of God. They were playing Alice in Chains. They were playing. Yeah, it's kind of just all over the board, man. Just bunch of poser stuff and just some other man. Not really the same kind of stuff that was going on.
Yeah, isn't it like confusing when you go to a club or a show and then like after you're listening to this really brutal music. They used to happen all the time in New York at Lemoore. They would play like Obituary would play or something, and then right after it would be like they would play Pantera. So like it was like a real mood crusher.
Yeah.
And it made the heavy band sound even heavier because they played such whack stuff.
Yeah, you just play something just soft or whatever else after it. It's just like
here's some good commentary. What's up, Edemoth? Go into Grinder. First and second wave death metal bands had original vocalists, whether you like them or not. The brutal era is when the band sounded the same, a lot with the monotone vocals. Same logo fest.
Yeah, because then it gets into the territory of like devourment worship bands. That it all.
There's a couple of those in Texas, huh, Francisco?
Yeah, Francisco's. He's not in one, luckily.
A lot of great brutal death metal comes out of Texas. For whatever reason why, a lot of it does.
Before we go down the brutal death metal lane, I wanted to say, just because we played that Disma and I mentioned something, the test press came in for Disma's record. So this is going to be out. Like, I didn't want to take orders too early, obviously, on this stuff.
Oh, sick.
So, fuck yeah, dude.
The test press is here, man. I don't want, like, sometimes pre-orders can be too early in life,
You gotta get that one in the middle.
So, you know what I mean? I try to keep, so the product's a little closer towards the, and it sounds super phenomenal. I don't understand the comment, playing Deftones at the Profanatica show. Oh, okay. Yeah, that Profanatica show that's going on.
Incredible.
Sick. Another vocalist that stands out for me is Acephalix Vastum, Daniel Butler.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah, I listened to Vastum before.
Oh yeah, isn't that Justin? Is he in that band Vastum or from Father Befouled?
No,
that I'm not sure about.
It's
they have a split with that.
Vastum is Layla Abdul Rahmar. She's been in a bunch of bands with it, and Shelby Lermo, who he's in a bunch of stuff. He's in Ulthar. He was in Acephalix. I think he was in Acephalix. He's in that he's got that new project that's on Dark Descent and Caligari. I can't even remember. Corpse Abuse. Right. I don't know. He's got a bunch of stuff. Dude's a badass.
Talk to me about. There's a band I wanted to talk to you about, Evan, and I've been wanting to talk to you about it. I want to talk to you about that band, Brat. They're from they're from New Orleans.
Yeah. I know the guys.
Yeah, they seem like they're like trying to cross that boundary line of like kind of like maybe not all death metal, but like you know what I mean. Just seem like innovating, kind of in a way.
Yeah, their whole thing is Britney meets Bolt Thrower.
Right. Okay.
And their shows are fun. Like I said, I know all the guys.
That's how I've witnessed. And the thing is, I'm a live consumer. You know what I mean? I have their demo. I bought it. But the thing is, like, I've mostly watched their live show. Yeah. And you got to see them a few times, or? Oh
yeah. I've seen it like ever since they started. Like ever since they first started playing shows. And like I said, their bass player, Hennessy, he plays in Congealed Putrescence. He plays in another grind. They have a grind band called Pussy Rot that's been around for years. Like I said, seeing a lot of the same folks, obviously, So but
shared band members.
Yeah.
And,
but they really blowing up. They go out on the road with Cro-Mags next week.
Okay.
And so,
what other bands say that you saw on the come up from down there that's kind of like, hey, like people need to know about this?
Well, I mean, Congealed Futurescence, obviously.
Who?
Congealed's great.
Congealed? Yeah, I've heard them.
Morbid Torment, dude. They're fucking awesome. It's black thrash, but and it's my buddy Renee and his brother and another cat that's been around for a while, and they're awesome. I mean,
I don't want to put you on the spot because you probably know everyone.
I can't. No, man, I can't speak. Let's see. Slab.
That would be for me because somebody's like, "Which bands do you like from New York?" I'm like, "All right, you ready for a friggin'?"
Oh yeah, man. There's a lot of good stuff. I mean,
right. Abysmal Lord.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
what about Warlust? What about them? I didn't realize that was Pussy Lord person. Hey,
oh yeah. The guitarist for Pussy Rot is the bass player for Brat.
Yeah, Brittany Fox meets Bolt Thrower. Yeah, the Hexea said earlier was killer, bro. Morbid Torment are awesome. Just played Tampa with them. A creep finish scene was creepy and doom for sure. Hell yeah. A lot of great bands. Morbid Torment, Burning the Cross. Maybe you're from that area. Who knows what's up, So yeah,
those guys. I mean, they deserve more attention than they've been getting. They've just been busting their ass. I mean, they've shared members with another band that was on Dark Descent that from down this way that's no longer active. Grave Ritual, and so that was more along the line of OSDM. But Morbid Torment, fucking Renee and Kevin and fucking Benny, man. Y'all look that shit up.
My boy said he saw you at the Destroying Texas Fest. Is that true?
Who, Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, he was actually, I was going to holler at him. Like, he was sitting down and he was eating beside me and my friends. And, I was going to let him, eat and shit and everything. And then, motherfucker disappeared.
Yeah. That's cool, though. They changed their name for the better? Morbid Torment? Was more.
Yeah, they were 6-pack. Yeah, they used to be 6-pack.
I thought it was Abysmal Winds. My bad. Yeah, Abysmal Torment, I believe. Abuse is from Louisiana, right?
Abuse was from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. They were from Gulfport, Biloxi.
Yeah,
they got jumped. They got put in with all of the New Orleans bands, but they're from Mississippi.
Yeah, you got jumped in. I like how he said brought that up. They got jumped in.
Well, they sounded so much like Acid Bath, and they played shows with all those bands, and they were from Gulfport, Biloxi.
To the guy that was in this band called Nun Molester. His name was what the hell is his name? It was such a long time ago. I was hanging out with him during the Phlegm tour, so he got a ride home from Texas. And he drowned in the catastrophe down there. You know what I mean? His name was Glenn Rambo or something.
Yeah, that was he was the original vocalist for Soylent Green.
That's correct. Yeah. So we were hanging tough for maybe 12, 15 hours one time. People would travel between Houston and Louisiana a lot, I guess. So I remember hanging out with him and then some car ride or whatever. And he was telling me all about his band. And I don't remember the name Soylent Green even being named at that stage. So it probably was so up and early on, or, what I mean?
He and Brian Patton had another band pre-Soylent Green called Nuclear Crucifixion. That was more kind of just straightforward thrash shit.
All he could tell me about was he's I got a band. They're called Nun Molester. I was when I went home, he gave me his address, and I'm yo, I want the Nun Molester. That sounds like such a sick name. What's up, Carl Necron? Salute. Clean Flesh. All right. I was listening to. I almost stuck Clean Flesh in the playlist actually, but we played it like maybe 4 weeks ago.
It's like the third time I've heard that band mentioned in just the past couple of days.
Katrina, yeah. So rest in peace to Glenn Rambo. Like he was like, I was like, I wrote with him, and I was like, yo, man, I want to hear this None Molester band.
That shit sucked, man.
Yeah, just in general though, the name was killer. So that was sick about it. You know, like I don't know. Sometimes like it doesn't, you know, the band cannot be as good, but like their name is like will go down in like infamy. So it's weird. What other is there any kind of like of some stuff that's kind of like the porno grind kind of ilk from that area?
Well, like
You got your Abysmal Lord, they're more like a death metal. Brad,
yeah,
like a hybrid.
yeah. There's some one man projects. My let me see. I don't know. Jared Moran has like 200 different bands. Like literally, if you go and look at this cat's Metal Archives page, like it's ridiculous, and he has like a lot of more grind oriented stuff.
Right. You get down with some of that stuff, or you more of a straight up death metal head?
Yeah, I mean, death and doom are my big things.
Those are your two mains. So, what about you?
Yeah,
Drinks Jet Fuel. What are your two mains?
Yeah, death metal, doom stuff. I mean, I would listen to a good amount of like black metal and stuff too. Grindcore here and there. Would Waco Jesus be considered grindcore? I guess.
Like porno grindcore kind of.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, maybe. I would consider grindcore to be like insect warfare in my brain, but
okay.
I mean, in my brain, but somebody might consider them to be like power violence, so like there's like different degrees to grindcore, right? Somebody might consider Napalm Death grindcore, which I
can see that. Well, it depends on what area you're talking too.
Yeah, they're like a death metal band, but then they have old grindcore songs, etc.
Yeah.
I want to play this comment. I worked at a head shop, and Glenn would come in a lot and hang. Super cool dude. Oh, that's cool, man. I didn't know you were from that.
Yeah.
Noble. Yeah. Classic Goat Lord from Death Thrash. I love Gore Grind and Grindcore. Yeah, I mean, I get down with. I feel like I gravitate towards a little bit of like more gory, heavier, faster stuff, like on like what I play on here, which I'm going to play something because like I it's like if it's too like clean, you know what I mean, for death metal, I'm like I kind of start to gravitate towards like something that's like a little like harder. So let me.
Oh man, I love everything, dude. Like I mean, there's in everything. If it's underground heavy music, I mean, I find there's something there that I like.
Yeah, this was an older release, but I was listening to this the other day. Myocardial Infraction. All right.
Man, that puts a smile on my face every time you play that.
That's hard. That's shit. I mean, definitely sick band, dude, you know?
That first one you played, that was honestly maybe definitely a couple more blasts in there. That was about 90% of Chicago Domination Fest.
Got
Yeah,
it.
that
Were they going
kind
that
of.
fast?
What was that?
Were they playing that fast?
They're playing not the last one, but the first one that you played, like the vocal styling and like a little more blast and stuff in there. But yeah, kind of the breakdowny, everything like that.
The little squeak.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what Domination Fest is. It's brutal death.
Well,
slang.
their move, that was the last one because the guy, he's moving to Texas. So watch out for Texas because I thought they got rid of Gore in the Heart of Texas tour. I thought maybe because I thought they were having like their last one, but I'm sure the guy from Illinois.
They're having another one. Gore
Are they? Okay.
So.
Well then, I'm sure they're both going to team up and then do something for that. So then have to figure out somebody to carry the torch up here.
Roy and I were actually hanging out with one of the former partners in Domination Fest. Remember Roy? Like dude was like I can't remember the cat's name, but
we were chilling at Metal Threat, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On the first night, and he was telling us about it, and he was no longer a part. He had been a part of the previous year, but he had stepped back. And
also shout out to this other dude. I met him at Maryland Death Fest. He's an older guy, and he always talks to me about some like Death in the Forest or some shit. It's like some kind of fest in like a really different ass spot. It's like Arizona or somewhere.
There's
Death in the Forest.
There's one I know. It's like a death fest in the mountains or something.
Fire in the Mountains.
And yeah, Fire in the Mountains, and then like Montana or some shit.
What's that Shadow Woods thing that happened somewhere?
Death metal is the one because this guy's a death metaler.
Yeah, they play like black metal and death metal and some other stuff. The videos that I've seen.
Shadows. That's an old kind of like defunct like black metal festival. But this was like more of like I don't know, like it was like a different thing, like some kind of, I don't know, it was like pretty obscure. I recognize the guy though because he was at the, he's the promoter of it, I'm assuming, because he's always talking about it. You know? Either that or he just is so behind his stage.
Or just a diehard fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was at Maryland with his kid. Even his daughter was like in a death metal elevator with me. And then friggin', you know what I'm saying? And he's at Metal Threat with us. So he's like, hey, man, you should come to this fest, you know? Like, you would dig it, you know? And he's like, you know, it's hook it up. I'm like, yeah, I should, you know? I should do something different, too, you know?
Yeah.
Gathering in the Shadows is in Colorado. I don't think that even goes on anymore, though, does it? Does anyone even know? Just out of curiosity, does the Gathering of the Shadows even exist anymore? Because I mean, that was kind of like a thing with like years ago, you know? That was something I always wanted to go to, but it was kind of like very like douchebag click kind of. I mean, that's what I want to call it at the time. Like, but not all the bands were like that because, like, Demonicy or there, whatever. So I was always cool with those guys. I remember they played it. And then Tom, who played in Bloodstorm, like his band played one, so they're cool. And but you know, there was some other stuff. There hasn't been one in a while. Yeah. The BTC show where they swapped instruments in all different bands was Liz fucking. The reason I wanted to go to this one show is because they said that they would throw a show whenever the hell you felt like it. Like it could be in the middle of the night. So I'm like, that sounds more like my style, you know? Like
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I'm an all-nighter type. You had to get an invite. I guess I wasn't invited. It was interesting to think that they would set up a generator in the woods, kind of have like a camping trip / blackmail show. So like I'm like, damn, I'm in.
That's why the Fire in the Mountains thing, at least from the footage that I've seen and whatever, like they have black metal and death metal bands play, and even like there's this one band just sounds so cavernous with the dude's vocals and like how they're playing and shit, and as like they're playing, the sun is setting because it's all outside in the fucking, you know, trees and shit around there.
That sounds
and
sick.
they said that it was amazing. They said that like they saw a Panopticon up again, like, and he was playing like right as the sun was setting against the mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds sick.
Because it's on like this massive ranch in the Grand Tetons.
What state?
Yeah. Montana or Wyoming?
Maybe Wyoming. I might. Yeah.
It's the Grand Tetons.
Shout out to Montana and Wyoming.
Because I mean, it looks beautiful, like out there and stuff. But then you have like the music. I mean, I've seen the comments. Like some say that those hills are still echoing. Just fucking, it just looks so sick having those bands play out there and that shit.
It looks nuts. And it's all camping.
It seems brutal. I did Woodstock in '99 too. All the drugs, one table, please. Yeah, I guess that would be the spot. Like when you're in the woods, like you do like extras. All right, so let's play something. This is the Caveman Cult demo, 2023. Whoops, sorry. I'm high.
Fuck yeah.
E for effort. You know what? There's all kinds of death metal, you know? And
The
sometimes
bass was clunky.
yeah, they were pretty clunky.
No,
You know what? Like, in a weird way, like, though.
I dug it.
Yeah, like, they had a couple cool parts. Remind me of some old Morpheus Descends. Sometimes I listen to stuff for the first time on here, too, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I want to play this.
Said, I don't know about this one.
But then I listened to it,
Trying
too,
them
and
out.
think, like, you know what? Like, the early, like, Verathrone demos, and, like, there was, like, early, like, kind of, like, really, you know, like, the Greek demos and some stuff like that type of stuff. They were really clunky, too, man, you know? But then they had,
man,
like,
South American shit, dude.
South American shit, definitely. It's got its
Colombian stuff.
own vibe to it, so it's like.
Oh man, but I love that shit though, dude. I mean,
what about the Caveman Cult? Have you got to witness them multiple times? Because you seem kind of
yeah, dude.
in the in-between zone where they play a lot.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's cool.
One of the best live bands running, dude.
Cool.
I mean, just chaos, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see them live at this stage because, like, I've seen, you know, I wish I would have saw them live first, actually. Have you ever heard Sigil of Ruins from Indonesia? No, I have not, brother. But it's good that people shout out bands in the podcast. This band I know of through my boy Ian, who does graphics for us. They're called Degraved. This is their new stuff.
Yeah, that's
right. There you have it. Degraved. They're from like Portland or Washington or something. My boy.
It's a project from the dudes that were in that band Cavern. The ones that released that badass demo a couple of years back.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
like that demo.
It's their new project.
Oh, okay. Damn. So you learn something new every time I come on here.
Yeah.
Which is dope, you know? Like, I like Cavern, but my man Ian, who does graphs for us, he tried to like do like a live catch the live cast of when they played live or whatever. And then like we tried to film it and show it on here, but the audio didn't come straight, you know? Yeah. So like, you know, like even if someone does that nowadays, it's like kind of like, yeah, you tape it off the line, you know? I think I had pulled down that thing that you sent me too, Jesus Drinks Jet Fuel. Didn't you say you sent me
the Mortician footage I sent you?
Yeah, I don't know if I got Mortician. I got something. Was it like Morbid Angel? Because they're like, there's a lot of people that send me stuff too. They're like, hey, what's up, man? I'm going to be at the 200 Stab Wound show tonight. Do you want me to send some videos? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on, dude. You know, like whatever. Like I feel, you know, and then if they send a Google Drive and then they hold their camera like this direction, it comes out pretty dope, you know?
Okay. Well,
we tried the whole like live thing, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. It's like your phone has to be like an iPhone. It's got to be super like new, you know?
Yeah, because mine's pretty new, and I sent it through Google Drive. I thought I fucked it up because I had it, you know, facing the other way, and then I turned it like this. So that's why I was always asking. I'm like, I don't know if I messed it up or not, or if that worked out or not. That's why I was asking about it.
There was one, there's this thing with I when I go to a show, right, and I'm doing like a live stream with StreamYard, like I can't look at the show, so you have to hold your phone like this. And they always think that they're like, yeah, look at that drunk motherfucker. His phone, you know? Like he's holding the phone like this, you know?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like I'll try to go close to the stage, right? And I just get closer and closer and closer. And then I'll always notice someone in the fucking band, and they'll look over at my camera, and they'll just be like what kind of playing? I'm doing a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you see yourself there, don't you, boss? You know what I mean? He's like,
hell yeah,
going like he wants to like kind of. Everyone else has the phone this way, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But then I got it this way, and he could actually see himself in it.
Yeah.
The fucking band like moved over. Like was like playing to the camera, you know?
Yeah, I got to be careful with that. I didn't lost it for about 30 seconds at the latest Morbid Angel tour that they did when they came through town. And yeah, I was recording it and hit breaks out right behind me. Phone goes flying. I'm like, oh shit. And then I look over, and then my buddy, he found it. It was on the floor over there, fucking unscathed. I was like, no fucking way, man.
You got lucky, yeah.
Yeah, real lucky. And I'm surprised no one just pocketed that thing either. So thank God for everyone at that Morbid Angel show. That wasn't a piece of dirt.
Yeah, well, look at what happened to that other Morbid Angel show.
That was the one, right? That tour was cursed. It was like the next day after that one, because that was in Milwaukee, and then the next one in Chicago, and then one person died, and it was like 30 injured from that theater collapsing.
Yeah. That was the next day after you went?
Yep, that was the next day. So the day before, that's when I saw him. And then the guy from Revocation, he broke his arm and couldn't play guitar for the whole tour. So he was just up there singing. And then there's like, 2 or 3 times where Trey just, for, whatever reason why, just all messed up and he can't play anymore and shit. But
yeah, and also
my buddy played pinball with him.
What's that?
My buddy played a couple of days before that show. They played Pensacola, and my buddy they came to the bar like after the show, I guess.
Yeah.
And like my buddy played like not pinball, foosball.
Mm-hmm.
They played a couple of, and like he played some foosball with Trey.
No doubt. That was
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, we always stay at the Ambassador Hotel, the Jeffrey Dahmer Hotel or whatever in Milwaukee, because it's right across the street from the rave. That's where they have all the, bands and shit mostly of that style that come through there and then whatever. And we went down there maybe an hour before the show, and then I got my vest on, and me and my buddies and shit were all dressed up for the show and shit, all band shirts and whatever. And she's like, "Oh, you going to the Morbid Angel show?" And like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Oh, the guys were in here eating about 30 minutes ago." I go, "No fucking way." Just,
yeah. They're just normal ass motherfuckers too.
yeah, I just thought it was cool that they just picked that spot. I was like, "Oh really? Huh."
Crypta. Someone said Roy, I have a phone. Same as front camera lens is cracked and blurry. Yeah, it was like even I did an interview with Matt Harvey from Exhumed, and then he's like, "You got your finger in your camera." I was like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "I think your finger's in it." I was like, "All right, cool." Like it was like it works out better when a person can like see themselves maybe when they're being interviewed, because then they they don't feel like completely cheesy,
Yeah.
It's interesting, because I obviously see myself when I'm doing this, unfortunately. All right, let me see what else I got in the chamber pot. We want to keep this to 3 hours or so.
Yeah, Roy, you got any shows you're going to see coming up at all?
Not really, man. I missed the mall show because like some family stuff. So they had rolled through Poughkeepsie, New York, which I would have probably went to that. And then let me think.
Fun, man.
I was supposed to go see X, the punk band, but then they canceled the leg of the tour over this direction.
Oh, okay.
John Doe and Exene Cervenka and
Yeah, I was gonna go. Like I like them, and then we had tickets, and like we didn't go because they canceled. I was like, fuck.
damn.
So I mean, that was probably like the last thing. That was supposed to be like July 7th or so. And then since then, I'm like right now, I'm looking at the Undergang show in Philly to be probably the next thing I would do. Or
if they can make it, I don't know why it's so hard for them to get over. Something with the work
all
visa.
the members need their paper.
Yeah, for real, man.
And David,
I hope they.
I spoke with him. I think his papers are completely in order now. And then I don't know what's going on with the other guys, or they're very close. So
Because they're supposed to play Atlanta in November,
right.
And like I hope that like.
Yeah, and somebody was asking me if I was going to that, and I'm like, I'm actually.
Dude, you should, man. Autopsy, like incantation, immolation, autopsy.
I had considered it, but then as soon as I saw
Volcano
in Philly, I was like, you know what? Like that's like a 4 or 5 hour drive from me.
Fulci.
And then I could drive there and come back instead of it being the whole like festival thing, Because Evan, I mean,
Father Brown, I think, is playing.
Yeah, maybe you're more into traveling, Evan, and going to like longer shows. But for me, like I like to just be in and out. You know what I mean?
Well, like I mean, Atlanta's not that super far for me. You know, it's like 4.5. It's like 4.5, 5 hours. So
you
it's
can
not
be in and out on that one.
Yeah.
But anything with like 2 days, you can't be in and out. Like you have to be there like a night. And I'm just like, like how much? It has more to do with working for Necroharmonic. So like, people. So like,
when you have your own business, man, I can imagine.
So going to a show is like, I don't know. Like I've been to a lot of shows too. So
for real, dude. I mean, like
you go to like there was like 4 or 5 shows a week basically.
Yeah.
So you had your choice to see even 2 bands in one day.
Oh yeah, dude. Like where you live, dude. Like and like the stuff that you've like seen. Like I mean,
right. So like after a while, I'm like, going to a show. It's like, like where is Fabio Fulci playing? You know what I mean?
Pick
like,
and choose really what you want to see now.
Fabio Frizzi or something. You know what I mean? I want to see something like really different now. Yeah. And maybe like say if Fulci played and they were like playing like within an hour and a half shot of my spot, I'll go. But that's kind of like been like my limit. And then maybe if like I'll travel to Brooklyn and go to see like Dercada or somebody I'm friends with, you know what I mean? Which St. Vitus has a pretty vibrant scene, and a lot of good death metal shows go there. So it's like, yeah, that's an option, you know. But going as that far even does like kind of add challenges. It's weird because like New York is closer, but then for me to go to Philly is like easier in a way. Even for me to go to Massachusetts or Rhode Island or something is easier for me than it is to go to like New York City, just because of the madness of New York City, you know, and all the traffic and, you know, like, and it's like, you got to fuck with your car is like a fucking commodity down there, you know. I'm sure it's like that if you go to Atlanta nowadays too, right?
We haven't had a bad experience there, you know. Like,
that's good.
Yeah.
I've only been one time. It was a 17-hour drive down to Atlanta from where I'm at for a fucking EDM festival with an ex-girlfriend that she dragged me to. So that thing, it was at the Atlanta Motor Speedway where they do NASCAR. So inside the stadium there's like 5 different stages and shit for 3 days of that. But you camp outside, like, you know, by your car and shit. So
yeah, that sounds cool.
That thing was nuts.
That would be helpful. Like because then you could use your car as like a cooler and like your like could stage, you know, like a little friggin' thing.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of different stuff set up and everything, but the only problem is Atlanta's the #1 carjacking place, like state. So every goddamn night, all you hear is man, people's shit going off and everything else. I'm like, oh fuck.
That's what it feels like. You know, I'm not saying St. Vitus is like that completely. That's your home away from home, no doubt. But at the same time, like, you know, my boy had all his equipment stolen too while he was there. So, what was the first death metal show I've ever been to, dude? Slaughterhouse. It was a thrash show, so there was no such thing as death metal back then. I don't even know if it was Slaughterhouse, but it probably was.
Yeah, first death metal show.
Death metal show. I don't really know, man.
I have to think. Me and my dad. I mean, he took me to a lot of poser stuff back in the day. So I'd have.
You got to start somewhere.
I want to say Mortician, but I mean, I really should be saying Revenant and Ripping Corpse because they were before that. And then, you know, maybe like Torment. They were kind of thrash though. So I don't know, maybe Revenant. That would probably be about as close as I got to death metal as being like my first death metal show, which I didn't really at that time. Like I wasn't really considering I'm 100% death metal.
How many times do you think you saw Ripping Corpse, Roy?
Probably like 15, approximately. You know. So like over the years, and then Dimmock, I've probably seen about like 8 times. I mean, I booked them like 5 times. So
Scott Ruth is a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah, and Dimmock shows were really good too. So they would come across pretty brutal, dude. Like there was something that I had rocked on the last show, which is kind of like a really far out for a lot of people because like they didn't know.
Oh, the unreleased.
Yeah, I want to play like a little piece from that, but we're gonna like play like more like into it. You know what I mean? Because usually I play the first song because it's like vocals and whatnot. But definitely check this out, guys. I'm gonna play a piece of it. This is like an unreleased '92 second Ripping Corpse album. Damn, dude. Brutal stuff, man.
Fuck yeah.
I thought about it too. I wanted to answer to that question a little too more. The first death metal show, like basically for me, you know, there was Ripping Corpse, Revenant, but I would say like the first real death metal show that I felt like I was at a real death metal show, Immolation, where I was like, damn, this is a death metal show, man. Like not a thrash show, not a, you know what I mean? It was like more death, straight up death metal. So that would be my first real death metal show. Because if you come from seeing thrash shows like Slayer, you know, going to hardcore shows, going to thrash shows, you know, seeing crossover bands like Ludacris, etc. Like when you say like, what's your first death metal show? I have to really go deep. I'm like, well, it's like, you know, you think of like death, and then you think of like, I'm like, well, it was probably Immolation maybe, because I don't think I caught Death in '88. So it would be Death if I saw them then, but I don't think I went to that show. So in '89, I saw Immolation play with Revenant, and it was Napalm Death. Actually, it was supposedly their first show in the United States, but they played the night before at CBGB's also, which was like unannounced till like right beforehand, you know. But the Immolation Revenant was like, and then I remember being disappointed with the Napalm because it wasn't.
Was that McKenty? It was that McKenty era Revenant, or was that after he had split?
This was after he had split at that stage. But I did see a McKenty era show also at this other club called Studio One. So they would have a lot of shows there that were like thrash oriented. So I saw Revenant play with McKenty when he was in Revenant too, you know, like back then. But
so that was around the time Prophecies had come out, or was that before?
It was like it was like the second demo, I guess, like right after the end of the second demo era. So, but before they put out like the 7-inch that had like the Generation or whatever, because he wrote that song, but he didn't actually. He's not like with the band by the time it came out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Around that would put the time period like 88 or like late 88, early 89. You gotta, yeah, for sure, brother. So yeah, I wanted to play that Ripping Corpse. I mean, I would, you know, like I don't know if I would put them in the death metal box, so that's why I said.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, dude, yeah.
It seemed like it was like a thrash hybrid at the time, you know, like at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very thrash forward, but I mean, it's death metal, man. Scott Ruth, I mean, his vocals, I mean, that's death metal.
It is death metal. So I mean, yeah. I don't know, you know, like I hate being tapped into that question because it's just like shit. Like
makes you think.
A live show. because like there's certain people that can distinctly be like Cannibal Corpse 1996, or Morbid Angel. But for me, it was like I came in through like the back door, so like I didn't go. If there was as soon as like death metal got a little more commercialized and earache tours, and like I maybe went to like the first set of like the Grind Crushery tours, but then like by the time like you had like your second era of that kind of stuff, I had felt that like that scene had like degraded a little. It was a little commercial, so I stepped back from it, and then I stepped back into like more of the underground bands, the smaller clubs, the demos. You know what I mean? Occasionally, one of your friend demo bands would play a bigger show with like a Morbid Angel or whatever, but like I wasn't always there for them. I was there for like the undercard sometimes, I'm just keeping it real because at some point, I feel like bands like Carcass and Morbid Angel and a couple other bands kind of trailed off for me,
Fell out a little bit, or just not. Well, they definitely don't keep it original.
The way I always say
sound.
They weren't Mortician. So like I wanted more Mortician, you know what I mean? So like you had these bands that were very like but like I was like I want something that's like way harder than this, And there wasn't many of those bands. There was like Grotesque Infection, Rotrivore, you know what I mean? Mortician, Incantation, obviously, a couple others.
Grotesque Infection.
But Grotesque Infection. I remember they would come and play a show with like Ripping Corpse. They would play like cool little shows, like it would like on a boardwalk. It would be like overlooking the ocean, and there'd be like a show. It'd be like Grotesque Infection, Incantation, and like Ripping Corpse or something. And then there was one that was almost there was like one almost asimilar lineup, and then it was like all those bands and Monster Magnet. And it was the first time I had seen them. And they were pretty psychedelic back then and heavy.
Oh no, dude, Monster Magnet has some cool shit, dude. Like there's some cool shit on those albums, like the early.
So it was like pretty fucking psychedelic ass show. And we were like, damn man, this is a weird ass booking because like it was like you had Incantation.
New Jersey, dude. New Jersey.
Yeah, and then Grotesque Infection, and then like it was so heavy and it felt like the place was on stilts almost because like the way it overlooked the ocean. So like when Grotesque Infection was playing, I felt like I swear I felt like the building just like
it probably was. If it was built on a boardwalk or some shit, it was. It was practically a pier. It was on still.
Like, it was the building move a little bit with the bass, and I was like, oh no.
That'd be sick though.
It's like this is gonna be a scary show, dude. Consumption of Human Feces is such a sick demo. Have that on CD and vinyl. Yeah, they were cool. Let's start a Mortician band called More Mortician. When Monster Magnet is mentioned, it's time to wrap it up.
Dude, if you want to hear like Mortician like worship done right, that massacred shit, dude.
Hey Ian. When I saw Monster Magnet open up for Soundgarden in the mid-90s, awesome, dude. They were sick. They had like they were the first time I got to see like how they do the effects for like you ever see like they have like that effect in the background where it looks like a friggin' like a I don't know, like a jelly looking thing.
Yeah, it's a watercolor.
Yeah,
like
a little friggin' light.
They put like colored water on a projector.
Yeah, I never saw that. I was like, oh, that's how they do that? I never knew. Mortician and Grotesque Infection played once together. Yeah, I was at it. I was at the show, brother. I got around for some reason in the earlier days, which was cool. I mean, there was Niagara Falls and like the Buffalo scene had a pretty decent scene. So
yeah, man, it seems like there was a lot of shit like up that way, like in the northern part, like like I've seen video. Like,
yeah, you had the Day of Death. After the Day of Death, it was like a whole set of shows started to pop off. You know what I mean? Which was cool. I mean,
Brian Pattinson, he must have done a lot of stuff though, huh?
He did. He was a busy guy, and I mean, or other promoters up there. So you had Joe Prichak, I believe, and then you had I don't know who the promoters that booked like all the Grotesque Infection-y type fests, But it was a good scene, man. It was a lot of cool heads up there and a lot of good bands, I think, you know. All right, I got something new to play, and we are going to be out of here soon because I'm going to wrap this up. So this band is called Squalor. This is a brand new one.
Whether you realize it or not, you're always choosing what to give a fuck about.
People aren't just born not giving a fuck.
In fact, we're born giving way too many fucks.
Ever watch a kid cry his eyes out because his hat is the wrong shade of blue? Exactly.
Fuck that kid. When we're young,
everything is new and exciting. And everything seems to matter so much.
So yeah, that was Carbonized with Matty Karki. That's right. And he did a stage dive there. You saw that?
That was good.
Looked like he lost his mic power or something. And
Yeah, he's like, "What the fuck? All right, I'm jumping in.
Fuck this! I'm doing a stage dive right now." You know.
I was gonna say, don't let Necron see the headless guitar, but too late for that.
Yeah, we saw that. Another headless guitar situation. Yeah, don't get Necron started. It was after I showed the headless guitar on here, then he did that show, I think. So, you know, like we have to have themes to do shows, you know what I mean? Like, so a headless guitar show, you know, like why not?
Only headless guitars being played.
About it, I think, until I had seen it on one of these. I think it was Crematory that had it, and we were like, I was like, yo, was that guitar missing something, dude? You know? And then like the chat lit up because everybody was like, oh man, government issue in Sweden. But the chat lit up because like everybody was like saying like, oh yeah, those are like they tune this way. And then I'm like, oh, I learn something every day, man. But yeah, maybe the Swedish, I guess you got a HM2 pedal, a headless guitar, and then you got you know, Thomas Skalksberg will like make your album, or the guy from Edge of Sanity, you know. It's like, all right, you go here, and here's your free rehearsal place. The guys from Interment said that they made T-shirts with the money from the government. I thought that was sick. I was like, damn, so you can make merch with the government money too, not just get a free rehearsal spot?
That works.
Pretty Swedish, you know? Kind of jealous actually in a weird way, because it's like, damn, I would have loved that when I was like 15 years old. If somebody was like, here's a free rehearsal spot and some instruments, go crazy. No wonder the scene was so good from over there, you know?
Yeah, then I probably would have actually got something done.
Yeah. And these guys, in a weird way, they became like, look at Matty Karki. I mean, you know, Dismember goes and plays like huge ass festivals as almost like the headliner at the stage. So it's really cool. You have modern and prog death bands. Oh yeah, I would assume more people in the modern and prog bands might use those guitars because they had no head. Well, thank fuck for the Swedish government. Yeah, they brought us like Carnage demos, Nihilist, right? All kinds of stuff.
I remember
even like offshoots like Traumatic.
I remember like really seeing on old videos and stuff. What is it? Pestilence using headless guitars a lot too.
Yeah,
that was back. Yeah, like 90s and stuff. Or at least the old videos that I was seeing, live shit and whatever too. He uses one now as well.
Yeah, I would imagine those guys got it really into like completely like more tech styles.
Yeah.
Decapitated headstocks. All right, so we're gonna wind this up soon. So you guys want to like shout out any of your friends or bands or anything? You can stare at my death tape forever. There was a question leading into this because I had this tape laying here, which is Death Scream Bloody Gore, and inside, right, and inside the tape when I first got this, like, you know, like it's just there's nothing in it, dude. Like this is how you got it. It was just white inside. No band lineup, no Chris Reifert, no John Hand, just the song titles, and then executive producer Randy Burns. Scream Bloody Gore. Minus John Hand yet again. They didn't even put his names on the thing. But yeah. No, you know, it's like the existence of Chris Reifert had to come through Autopsy for me because I had this pretty early. Lack of compression by death, headless guitar. So yeah, let me go off. Soloist. I see a cross back there, Evan Williams. What are you trying to do?
That's gotta be flipped upside down. What are you doing?
Yeah, you got that facing the wrong way, dude.
You got something to tell us or what?
But I didn't say anything. But
Black metal shirt on. He's praying to the Lord. What's going on here?
Yo, well, you know what? I don't know. That's a little fecal. He gets a pass on that one. So anyway, let's see what else we got. One or two more songs, and then I'm out of here. This is Exhumed from San Jose, not the regular California Exhumed, the 93 demo. All right, so that's Exhumed from San Jose.
Yeah, that smoked.
Yeah, it was pretty sick, right? 93.
Yeah, Suffocation Worship is correct. That I like that a lot.
A little bit there, but it was still cool. I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah, cool, awesome, bro. Happy birthday from Ghoul. It's about celebrating tonight's on the streams. Awesome, dude. Yeah, if you also, I think Carl Necron's going to be going live or is live.
Yeah, he's live right now, I think.
Yeah, on the Pandora's Box. They told me they were doing a night episode. So I think maybe him and maybe Retro Nerd Girl. I don't know. I'm not sure, but definitely check that out. So yeah, I figured, death metal podcasts normally we do go live now anyway, though. Hey, Evan, we got a question, bro. It's pretty important, dude. So behind you, you have a cross on your wall there. We were wondering about it a little bit. A little bit. Your sound's off.
The house that I live in, everything is actually I rent it from my mom.
No
and
doubt.
So everything down here is still kind of
keep it as is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So why don't you do her a favor and take out the trash where that thing belongs?
Well, what it is mainly we're having the AC redone upstairs where my room is, and it's hellishly hot up there right now. So I'm just kind of hanging out downstairs in the living room.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I said that the cross was a little feculent looking anyway. So I'm more worried about grandma's wallpaper.
Oh yeah, man, this house is old as fuck.
Yeah,
man.
mine is
It's
old as shit too.
Yeah,
So
dude,
you
it's
got
like
anything on
100.
the horizon, Evan, that you're going to be seeing pretty soon? That's rolling through town or fests or something? Because you're
Yeah,
a very
man.
active
Yeah.
meddler.
Oh yeah, dude. Mortuaries. We've got mortuary coming through next weekend.
Cool.
Twice.
From Mexico?
Yep.
Oh, sick, dude. That's
Yeah,
sick.
my homeboy's bringing them here. They're playing New Orleans, and they're playing New Orleans Friday night, and they're playing Long Beach on Saturday with Evil Incarnate.
Oh, sick. So what is your
Yeah.
main, like, New Orleans, like, club or whatever? What would be, like, the main...
Siberia.
Yeah, I see you post up on that. Are there other
Yeah,
spots too? Or?
Oh yeah, Poor Boys and the Goat.
Uh-huh.
But those are the main ones. Santos has some stuff, but hasn't really anything been going on there.
Anything
lately.
between like where you live in Mississippi to New Orleans, or just?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're like here, like I'm 20 minutes north of Hattiesburg, and you know, there's like always been a lot of stuff there, you know, but like most of the stuff now is more like hardcore and punk stuff, you know, lots of house shows and stuff, like not too much in the way of metal, really. I mean, a little bit, but not too much, you know. Whereas it used to be,
you travel for your shows.
Yeah, usually, yeah. So, but I don't know. My pal John, who used to do most of the booking in this area, he's kind of stopped it. He's stopped because he touring with his band. He's the drummer for Savage Master.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
yeah, and so like he's been, you know, kind of doing that and everything. So things kind of in ways of metal, at least, you know.
Yeah. So, and you're like me. You're like just straight up fan without a band at the shows, correct?
Huh?
You're like me going to shows when I was younger. Like you're just a straight up fan without a band, right?
Oh yeah. I play guitar and shit, but like, I mean, there's not really anybody around here that's like into the same thing that I'm into. So, I mean,
I gotcha. Yeah. So. I mean, I was around a lot of people. I just wasn't in a band. I just would hang out with bands, and you know what I mean? I guess I took the record label route, so like it felt like I was in a band, you know? But
oh yeah, man.
In reality, it was just like I'm just a fan, you know, like
oh yeah, man. It's the only thing that I give a shit about, you know.
I only think about it now when we do the live streams, because then I look around, like the other day, like we had like 7 or 8 people in it. And I looked around and I said, you know what? I said, me and Jesus Drinks Jet Fuel are the only guys that aren't in bands on this one, dude. Because everyone else is in band, dude.
Well, technically, I got something cooking, but you are correct.
Yeah. And even you had something cooking. I mean, I feel like I always have something cooking too, but, you know, like it just never cooks. I think you got a question, Evan. Have you seen Shitload live? Maybe that's a band? Okay, he got his shitload.
Bobby.
You're an accountant. What is it called?
Huh?
What's the name of
it?
No,
More Vaccinated Than You.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Never saw that one.
Yeah,
before.
it's my buddy Bobby. It's his noisecore project.
Cool.
And he just it's one man thing. It's interesting to say the least, though.
Yeah. Anybody like if you go to shows or you're in your, you know, neck of the woods, I mean, is there like distros, labels, or is it just hip hop?
Yeah, there's not really much in the way of labels in New Orleans. You know, but
yeah. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's not, there's not.
Yeah.
Maybe I got to go down there and change that. I need to move to warmer climates. The Goat just opened before I moved, didn't have any shows yet. I think, yeah, this guy used to live by there.
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, he told me that he's from there. Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah. You guys, I mean, do you feel like people meet in the Death Metal Podcast chat here? I feel like they do.
Oh, yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah, which is good. And there's people that come up to me at shows and they're like, Death Metal Podcast.
Yeah, I know. I bugged the shit out of you, shit.
I mean, amongst others too, because I guess I was the idiot that decided to go on here and talk about metal and, you know, just do it live like this. But I mean, it seems like if we get a message out of, you know, here's some good bands to listen to, and it's not completely like paid for, I guess. I guess that'd be the best word I would put on it. Like, this is not paid for. This is like real fan. You know?
It was kind of making me think about just posting, you know, I go to plenty of shows and shit and everything else, just posting shit on my YouTube thing, like actually like recording the video and putting it up and whatever else just for other people to see and shit.
Sure. Or even, you know, even since you've been on the live, like my other buddy, DJ Hellhammer, I thought he was going to be on tonight. Like, he's like, dude, he's like, that was awesome. Like, I got a real taste for it by being on, and you know what I mean? He was feeling the vibe, and I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Weird, because Antimo from Disgorge was on at the end, too.
That was cool.
I don't even know where this is going to go sometimes, you know, which works out well. I mean, you know, the way I'm doing it's perfect. I guess, I mean, this is the way we do it, you know? Yeah, we play some music, but we're wrapping it up. So I got like one more tune. Thanks, guys, for popping
Wait,
up.
I wanted to show you some stuff right quick.
Flex me out some.
Okay. All right.
First.
Okay. This is Sermon of Rot. This is Jared Moran. He's from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and some other fellas that he knows from that aren't from Mississippi. That think they put it together online or whatever, but it's put out on Sewer Rot. It's fucking awesome fucking DM shit. Just listen to it. It's fucking awesome.
Put out on Sewer Rot.
On Sewer Rot. Mm-hmm.
The label from Seep, right?
Congealed Putrescence. You know, yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard, but nasty, nasty, nasty fucking death metal. Listen to it. These are some friends of mine. Dracula. It's just kind of like raging hardcore stuff, you know, not death metal, but still, it's good.
Right.
This has been out for, well, let's see if I can do it. Out for a while. Exaggerate.
Oh, Exaggerate. Hell yeah.
Exaggerate. Yeah. Half of these guys are from North Mississippi. The rest of them are from Alabama, and I think one of the guys is from Southern Tennessee. No, anyhow, it's Chris Eakes and some other guys. He was also in Hollowed Idols, and he is now the lead guitarist in Cruciamentum.
Cruciamentum, exactly. So we spoke within the last weeks, and I told him, I was like, you got to come on here, actually. And I asked that man from Cruciamentum on, and he said he wasn't interested, though. But he said he would, the other guy said he would come on and talk about Exaggerate, which I was like, cool.
But dude, this came out, though, like I said, just, you know, a couple of years ago, and it didn't get that much, you know, press to it. But, dude, this is one of the best releases to come out in the past couple of years. I don't know if they're really active right now, but if you haven't heard this, then you're doing yourself a great disservice.
Well, whoever I wrote to also, I was like, yo, are you the guy on Ken's Death Metal Crypt that said you sent me change to buy stuff? And he's like, no.
Yeah, that's Chris. Yeah, that's him.
I was like, I remember that, because like there would be a couple fans that would send change in the mail order. Those are good ones.
Cemetery Filth. They're from Atlanta. This came out a couple of years ago as well. They've put together, I think, another lineup or whatever. But this is it's great. It's obvious Morbid Angel influence. But it's
Seagrave vibes on the cover too.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking awesome. It came out on Unspeakable Acts. Yeah, it's right. It's like right here in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, like, but let's see. Oh yeah. And
what's your friend's bands?
Seraphic Entombment. They're from Birmingham.
Okay.
And it's more along the lines of funeral doom, death doom kind of stuff. They just signed with Everlasting Spew. I think the full length is getting ready to come out here soon, but the awesome stuff.
Cemetery Filth is cool. MA inspired for sure.
Yeah.
Evan Williams, I don't care about your tape collection. Just play music. The bottom line of this show is all about tapes and what do you call it? Talking and music. So we do a little of everything on here. I want to know about these bands. And also, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat do, you know? It's epic when your band plays on here, brother. So, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that you showed those, too, because I saw one in there I never heard of, which was that Dracula with the anarchy symbol at the end. So that was cool. I know Gurgling Gore, the label, is pretty dope, so definitely going to check that one out. I have that Exalcurate, I think, on vinyl and tape. Good release. All right, guys, I'm out of here. So I appreciate you guys joining the Death Metal Podcast for tonight.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to go out with a song because the fans wouldn't have it any other way. So anyway, guys, this will be episode 66 of Death Metal Podcast. So I don't know, share it afterwards or something. Great promotion. That's what I'm saying, bro. Just to say, like, hey, here's a couple cool demos. Like, check these bands out. Before we get out, I want to say Bush Hog in background, Poison Oak. I'm scratching at my shins and the bone and bleeding. Death metal as you can get. Yes. Sorry to hear about the Poison Oak. Thanks, DMP. Francisco Vangus. Yo, you said you were on the entire 8-hour show the other day, dude. You are a warrior and a half, kid. I have to say, man, because I don't know who sat through, besides me, the entire thing, because even Francisco went to Houston in the middle of the show. So appreciate you guys, man. You know, everybody that tunes in, I see the same names a lot of times, dude. So a lot of times, dude, you know, like there's just cool to get together with people, you know. So we got some music too, man. Someone wants music, bro. Let's see what we didn't play. Going through the archive here. I'm going to save the other Russian band for another time because you guys just aren't ready, you know? And we'll go out with something. This was a 7-inch. So since we're going back in time and I put out that early Ceremonium, here's an old 7-inch I put out. I think it was the second 7-inch after Ceremonium. So we're going to play this song, one in its entirety, and see ya.
Be quiet, you'll wake the neighbors.
Double explosion of bloody terror, blood-spattered bride, and I dismember mama.
Of the devil is deadly. The Devil's Nightmare.